My friends, today we are going to talk about something very important: your retirement rights. The Supreme Court has just made a decision in 2025 that could affect many seniors across America. I know that after years of hard work, you expect your retirement to bring peace, security, and the benefits you were promised. That is why this news matters so much. What the court decided may change how long your health coverage lasts, what kind of disability support you can receive, and whether you can challenge your employer if those benefits are reduced. I don't want you to feel worried, but I do want you to stay informed, because understanding this ruling can help protect you and your family. Before we begin, I'd love to know, where are you watching from today? Just share your city or state in the comments below so we can see how seniors all over the country are staying connected. Point 1. What did the Supreme Court decide? In June 2025, the Supreme Court ruled on a case that matters to every retiree. The case involved a retired firefighter from Florida. She had to leave her job early because of serious health issues. For years, retirees like her were told that their health insurance would continue until they turned 65. That coverage was meant to fill the gap until Medicare began. But later, her city changed the policy and said the coverage would only last for 2 years after retirement. She felt this was unfair and took her case to court, arguing that cutting her benefits was discrimination against someone with a disability. The case reached the Supreme Court, and the justices gave their decision. They ruled that the Americans with Disabilities Act only applies to people who are currently employed or applying for a job. Once someone retires, the court said, they are no longer a qualified individual under this law. This meant that the retired firefighter and others like her could not use the ADA to challenge changes to their retiree benefits. What does this mean in simple terms? If you are retired and your former employer decides to reduce or cut your health coverage, you may not be able to fight back using disability discrimination laws. The timing is very important. If the change happens while you are still working or while you are in the process of applying for a job, then the ADA might still protect you. But if you have already stepped into retirement, those protections no longer apply. For retirees, this ruling is a big shift. Many seniors had to retire early because of health conditions that made it impossible to keep working. They believed their benefits were guaranteed, only to learn that those promises could be changed. This case shows that retiree benefits are not as secure as many believed, and it highlights the importance of staying informed. Seniors must understand that benefits offered years ago are not always permanent, and they should be prepared for possible changes. Point 2. How does this decision affect seniors like you? This ruling changes the way retirees need to think about their benefits. For many seniors, health insurance and disability support are not optional. They are the foundation that allows you to pay for medicines, doctor visits, and hospital care. When these benefits are cut, the costs fall directly on you and your family. The court's decision means that once you leave the workforce, your protections under the ADA become weaker. If your employer decides to shorten or reduce retiree coverage, you may not have the same legal path to fight it. This makes retirees more exposed to sudden changes in health plans or other promised benefits. The impact can be very real. Without steady coverage, you might have to pay higher monthly bills for prescriptions or specialist visits. Some may face a gap in insurance before Medicare begins at 65. Others may feel forced to rely on savings or family support earlier than expected. These extra costs can quickly reduce the financial security you worked so hard to build. Beyond money, there is the stress that comes with uncertainty. Retirement should be a time of stability, yet this decision creates doubt about whether benefits can be trusted long-term. Knowing that the law no longer protects you in the same way can make many seniors feel powerless or left out. And remember, this is not just about one city in Florida. Because the Supreme Court sets the standard for the whole country, other employers may feel freer to follow the same path. That means the effects could spread widely, touching retirees in many different states and professions. Point 3. What protections still exist for retirees? Hearing that the Supreme Court has limited protections under the ADA can sound discouraging, but it is important to know that retirees are not left with no options. While one door has closed, there are still other protections and paths that seniors can use to defend their benefits. First, many states have their own laws that protect retirees and people with disabilities. These state laws can sometimes be stronger than federal law. Depending on where you live, you may still have rights to challenge changes to your benefits. That is why it is important to check with your state's senior services or legal aid groups. They can explain what protections are available where you live. Second, your retirement benefits are often written into legal documents like pension agreements, union contracts, or employee handbooks. If these papers clearly promise certain benefits, your employer may still be legally required to honor them. Even if the ADA no longer applies, contract law can still give you protection. This is why keeping your retirement documents safe and organized is so important. Those papers could become your strongest defense if your benefits are challenged. Third, there is a federal law called ERISA, the Employee Retirement Income Security Act. This law sets rules for how retirement and health plans must be managed. It requires employers to handle funds properly and to follow clear rules before making changes. If your employer violates ERISA, you may still have a case to fight back. Fourth, timing still matters. If your employer announces changes while you are still working, you may still qualify for protections under the ADA or other federal laws. The Supreme Court's ruling only focused on people who had already retired. That means if you are close to retirement, it's important to pay attention to when changes are announced. Finally, seniors are not alone. Advocacy groups like AARP and local senior organizations continue to fight for retiree rights. They monitor changes, share updates, and provide guidance on legal help. Connecting with these groups can give you support and resources you might not find on your own. In short, while the ADA may no longer protect retirees, there are still state laws, contracts, ERISA rules, and advocacy groups that can provide important safeguards. The key is to stay informed, keep records, and know where to turn for help. Point 4. Steps seniors should take now to protect themselves. The Supreme Court's ruling may have made things harder, but that does not mean seniors are powerless. There are clear steps you can take right now to protect yourself and your family. The first step is to review your retirement documents. Many seniors keep old papers in boxes or drawers and never look at them again, but those documents, pension agreements, retirement letters, employee handbooks, often spell out exactly what benefits you were promised. Take the time to find them, read them carefully, and keep them in a safe place. If anything looks unclear, highlight it or make notes. These papers may be your best defense if changes happen in the future. The second step is to pay attention to updates from your former employer. Cities, companies, and organizations often send letters or emails with notices about benefits. They may look routine, but sometimes they contain important changes. Don't throw them away or leave them unopened. Read every notice carefully, and if you don't understand it, ask a trusted family member or friend for help. A small change today could become a big problem later if it goes unnoticed. The third step is to learn about your state's protections. As we discussed earlier, some states have stronger laws for retirees and people with disabilities. A quick call to your state's Department of Aging or Senior Services office can give you useful information. You might find that your state offers more protection than you realized. Fourth, don't be afraid to speak with a lawyer if you feel your benefits are being reduced unfairly. Many attorneys who specialize in elder law offer free consultations. Even one short meeting can give you valuable advice about your rights and options. Fifth, stay connected to senior advocacy groups like AARP or local organizations. They provide updates on changes in the law and often fight on behalf of retirees. Being part of these groups makes sure you are not left alone to figure things out. Lastly, don't stay silent if you face cuts to your benefits. Share your story with community groups, online forums, or even your elected representatives. When seniors speak up, lawmakers pay attention. Taking these steps will not stop every problem, but they will help you stay prepared, informed, and ready to protect the benefits you worked so hard to earn. Point 5. The bigger picture. When the Supreme Court makes a decision, it doesn't just affect one person. It sets the standard for the whole country. That is why this case from Florida is so important. What happened to one retired firefighter could eventually affect millions of seniors across America. Employers, cities, and organizations everywhere now know that the ADA does not protect retirees once they have left the workforce. This means they may feel more confident about making changes to retiree benefits, knowing the legal risk of being sued is lower. For seniors, the bigger picture is that retiree benefits may now feel less secure than before. Something that once seemed guaranteed could suddenly be reduced or taken away. That could lead to more retirees relying on Medicare, Medicaid, or personal savings earlier than expected. It could also mean higher out-of-pocket costs for medical care during years when income is fixed and expenses are already rising. This decision could also affect people who are not yet retired. Younger workers who see what is happening may start to question the promises made to them. They may need to save more aggressively or look for jobs that provide stronger written guarantees about retirement benefits. In this way, the ruling does not just impact today's seniors, but also shapes how future generations prepare for retirement. There is another side to this picture. Sometimes when the courts make a ruling that feels unfair, it pushes lawmakers to act. Congress could step in to create new protections for retirees. Advocacy groups like AARP may also increase their efforts to demand stronger safeguards. Public pressure often grows when people feel the system is failing them. This ruling might spark that kind of momentum. So, while the Supreme Court's decision narrowed one path of protection, it also opened a wider debate about retirement rights in America. Seniors, families, and lawmakers will all have a role in shaping what happens next. Point 6. The most important lesson for seniors. For seniors, the clear message is stay alert. Do not assume that what you were promised years ago is untouchable. Employers, cities, and even state programs can make adjustments. And now the highest court in the country has said that certain federal protections no longer apply once you are retired. This means you must take an active role in protecting your retirement benefits, just like you once paid close attention to your paycheck while working. Another key lesson is that timing matters. The ruling made it clear that protections are stronger when you are still employed or applying for a job. Once you step into retirement, those protections weaken. That means your decisions about when and how to retire carry even more weight. It's important to watch closely for any policy changes at the end of your career and not to delay speaking up if something seems wrong. This ruling also teaches us the importance of community. Many seniors feel powerless when faced with a big legal decision. But when seniors come together through advocacy groups, community centers, or even online forums, their voices carry weight. Seniors make up one of the largest voting groups in the country, and lawmakers pay attention when that group speaks out. Point 7. Turning a challenge into an opportunity. This Supreme Court ruling may feel like a setback, but it is also a chance to create change. While the court has said the ADA does not protect retirees, that does not mean seniors are powerless. The Supreme Court interprets laws, it does not write them. Congress still has the authority to pass new protections, and lawmakers listen when seniors speak up. As one of the largest voting groups in America, you have the influence to make sure your voices are heard. This is why unity matters. When seniors join together through organizations like AARP, community groups, or local senior centers, their voices become stronger. A single retiree may feel powerless, but millions of seniors speaking with one voice can push lawmakers to act. Sharing your story, writing to your representatives, or even raising awareness in your community all add up to real impact. This ruling also teaches us to prepare personally. While we push for stronger protections, it's important to review your own retirement documents, savings, and insurance. Staying informed about your state's programs and knowing your options can give you more security. Preparation puts you in a stronger position if changes come. Younger generations are also watching and learning from this moment. By sharing your experiences, you can guide them to prepare wisely and remind them that retirement security must be protected for everyone. If this information was helpful, I'd love to hear from you. Share your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Congress should step in to protect retirees? And if you want to stay updated on issues that matter to seniors, don't forget to subscribe and share this video with friends. Together, we can make sure every retiree's voice is heard.